In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Geneva's Zapier integration to set up a home for a community where members sign up or pay outside of Geneva, and you want to automatically add or remove them from rooms in your home on Geneva based on their overall membership status. For this example, we'll be using the home called World of Writing, which is a made-up writing course and community, and we'll be connecting it to my paid members list, which in this case lives in a Google Sheet, but could be anything from Patreon or a Member Stack or HubSpot or Ghost, really any platform where you're collecting people's information and email address. So to start, we'll go to our home. The first thing you'll do before any of this is set up the home and the rooms in the way that you want them to be. In this case, I have a couple rooms that would be open to anyone, not just my paid members. And then some rooms ultimately that we're going to grant exclusive access just to people who are paid members who are on my email list. So the first thing we're going to do is go and create what's called a member group. This is essentially a cohort within your home that you can grant access collectively to different rooms inside the home. So we'll go up here and we'll go to settings. And you'll see this button here for member group. So we're going to create a member group and go here, create a member group. Now there's three different ways that folks can get added to member groups. You could add them manually. You can add them with Web3 tokens, or what we're going to do in this case is add them from a database that lives in another app using Zapier, which is a tool that connects two different apps to one another. So we'll click on add from another app. Get a little bit more information and we'll hit get started. So the first thing you're going to do is give a name to this member group. Here we'll call it VIP members. You could add an image if you want. We'll skip that for now. And you'll hit next. So what you're going to see is this little pop-up here that is going to be information you're going to need in this next step once we connect to Zapier. So we'll remember that this exists and come back to it later. So we're going to hit go to Zapier. That'll bring us over here. I already have an account set up, but if you don't, at this point, you'll set up a Zapier account. It's free to start. There's also some paid tiers. So what we're going to do here is set up the connection between whatever your third-party app or service is with Geneva. So we'll hit create Zap, and that'll take us into this process. The way a Zap works, if you're not familiar with the platform, is there's a trigger action that happens on one app and an action that happens as a result of that trigger. So in this case, we are going to want something that happens in our Google Sheet, right? A new person is created, but again, that could be a new member signs up in your member stack, or a new customer makes a purchase in your Shopify or anything like that. And then the action is going to be they get added to that member group on Geneva. So let's start with the trigger. We'll say Google Sheets. Bring that up. And basically what we're going to do over the next minute or so is configure what we want Zapier to pull from which specific Google Sheet. So we'll click an event. And in this case, we want to say new spreadsheet row. All right, so anytime a new row is added to the spreadsheet, that'll have an email address, and we're going to want to pull it and automatically sort of fire this trigger. So we'll hit continue. And in this case, you may have to sort of log in or authenticate yourself. I've already done that. So we'll say I want to use this specific account. And then you're going to want to find the spreadsheet. So in this case, VIP community members, right? That's the specific spreadsheet that I want to connect. And then it's going to ask for the specific worksheet. You may have one or multiple, but in my case here, member info is the sheet that I want to pull from. Again, every platform will be different. And so if you're using something that is not Google Sheets, it may ask for slightly different things from you here. So we'll hit continue, and it's going to set up a little test to basically pull in the data and try and understand, is it connected to the right thing? And we see that, yes, it has column A, which is the name, and then column B, maybe these will be named in your case, will be the email address. So we'll go back to here and hit continue. So that has set up the trigger. Anytime a new row is added in Google Sheets with a name and an email address, that's going to fire the trigger. And now we're going to go through what do we want to happen once that trigger is fired. So here we're going to select Geneva, right? That's the app that we want the action to take place on. We're going to choose between two possible events. Do we want a person to get added to a member group or removed from a member group? After you set up this process to add, you may go through again and have a trigger that is something like anytime a row is deleted or a status is changed in my trigger app, I might want to remove the person from a member group. This is really important to make sure that your data and your membership in Geneva is staying fresh and up to date. So in this case, we're in the setup. So when there's a new row added, we're going to add a person to a member group on Geneva. We'll hit continue, and we're going to want to choose which Geneva account, which may be a little bit confusing, but it's basically asking which member group in your home on Geneva do you want this to be. This is an old one, so ignore that. Yours is going to be empty, and you'll say connect a new account. And you'll get this pop up here. Allow Zapier to access your Geneva account. What you're going to do here is use the name of the member group, so you can track it later on. And then this is a really important part, a secret API URL. So at this point, you're going to go back to where you left Geneva and grab this secret API URL, hit copy, go over here, and paste that in and hit continue. All of the magic is happening, and it now has connected. If you go over to here, you'll see that it was successful. You'll have that little green check and hit continue. So then you're going to want to complete the process by telling Zapier which of the specific fields, or in this case, columns, but in your case, it may be a different program and the fields may look a little bit different, but you're going to want to find the email field or column. So we'll hit that and hit continue, and then you can test the action. I'm going to skip that for now, but when you do test it, it'll actually send a real email out to that email address, so you want to just keep that in mind. So I'm going to skip that, and then you're good. You can publish the Zap and turn it on. And now it'll be live. If you have existing data in there, you can transfer it, which will send emails and give access to all of the people who already were in your member list. And then from here on out, start adding in new people as they get added. I'm going to skip that for now. So now your connection is set up. Anytime something happens in the outside trigger app, anytime basically an email is added to your list, those folks will get added to this member group. So we're good here. We can close that out and you'll have this VIP members. So now the last and also really important step in the process is you want to make sure that anyone who's in that member group has access to the relevant rooms. So we'll go into each of the rooms that you want this member group to have access to and just go to the room settings, go to room membership settings, and you're gonna say who should actually have access to this room. You go to member groups, you'll say VIP members. So anyone who's a VIP member will have access to this locked room. So we'll add them to the room. And you'll just repeat that process, right, for all of these locked rooms. So I'll just set that up quickly. We'll skip the last two, you get the idea. And so that's it. Now, whenever someone signs up either on your website or becomes a supporter on Patreon or pays with Stripe or MemberStack or Memberful or any of the hundreds or maybe even thousands of trigger apps, they'll get added to your database. And now they'll get automatically sent an email that says they have access to your community on Geneva. They can click that and join, and they'll get automatically added to the locked or secret rooms within your home.